Hey guys, Zollard here, back in with another review, and today we'll be taking a look at the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Batman Dark Metals, the Devastator. So without further ado, let's get into it, kicking things off with the accessories. And they ain't much. Devastator comes with a display base and a collectible trading card, which features some information about the character on the back, which you can pause and read at your own leisure. Hopefully it's clear enough. But as far as that display base goes, well, he doesn't exactly need it that much, does he? But with that being said, time to move on to articulation. Moving on to the articulation on this guy, and I'm going to be honest here, it is going to be pretty limited due to his massive size. I mean, this thing is a brick. But nonetheless, let's get into it, shall we? Let's. So, his noggin, you can rotate it all the way around. I'm not going to do that, but it is doable. So there is that. He can look up a little bit, depending on how you have his head kind of shifted there. And then he can look down a little bit. You can tilt it side to side, and of course you can rotate it this way. It's got a hinged jaw. The tongue moves, but it does get a little stuck in there sometimes, so you gotta push up on it, get it to pop out, but it is doable. I do wish they painted the tongue red or molded it in red. I think that would have broke up the colors enough, add a little bit of contrast in there, because I don't think he's supposed to have a gray tongue. And if you use the tongue, then the jaw, it is empty behind it, which is kind of a no-no, but it looks alright. It's not too bad. He's got some piercing red eyes there, which, look at the paint on this thing. I will say the paint is a little bit lacking. I wish he had a little bit more going on the back here, other than his shredded clothes, but what are you going to do? For the price point, again, this thing is a brick. His shoulders do rotate around. He does have that kind of ball joint thing, that butterfly joint that the McFarlane DC figures are known for, but it doesn't do much. You can move the arm out pretty far, and then obviously back in. You can rotate him at the elbow. Single hinge at the elbow gives you almost 90, not quite. And as for the wrists, this is kind of weird. They put the hinge on the arm, but it's an up and down hinge. So I'm not sure why they went that route as opposed to just putting the hinge on the hands themselves and plugging them into the arms. But it works. I mean, you get a little bit of range out of that. And you can still do the, like, upward, backhand kind of pose. I don't know what I'm going for there, but I've been able to get him into the poses I want to get him into, basically. But, of course, the hand also rotates, and he's got the big old gnarly spikes on there. I hate to get punched in the face by this guy. The torso has a nice diaphragm joint, and then he's got the same kind of joint going on in the waist. I will say it is a bit loose because of the weight, but it will hold its pose. He does have this insignia thing going on his torso. I'm not sure what that's all about. It's not the Doomsday symbol, I don't believe, but it's not the bat symbol either. I don't believe, but interesting. His hips kick out to the side, pretty far for a big guy. And then they do kick forward. Granted, his Daisy Dukes get in the way, but yeah, you can get him into some pretty good crouching poses. Nothing insane, but good enough. Good enough for government work, that's what I always say. He's got a thigh cut that works really well, but I think it is lower. I think he's got kind of the Motu Classic style hip, where it's ball hinge, and then the hip, or the thigh, excuse me, goes over the joint itself. A Mythic Legions figures also do that too. As far as the knees go, he can bend back about a 90-degree angle. Granted, he's not going to be kicking his own ass, but he doesn't really need to be. He does have a rotation at the knee, a little bit loose on this side, but I'm not worried about it. And then his feet, hinge that far back. Pretty far forward, too. Oop. About that far forward, maybe a little bit more. Yeah, about a click more. So forward far enough, I think. Then he's got a nice rocker. And toe joint, which is actually stiff on this figure. Until you start using it, then it's probably going to be loose and floppy. So, do what you will. And then, of course, he's got pig holes on the bottom of his feet for the stand he doesn't need. So, that's basically it. I do wish he had a little bit more paint, but that's just me being nitpicky. So, with that being said, time to take a look. Get him in focus here. Time to take a look at some size comparisons. Taking a look at some size comparisons, here we have the Devastator next to a couple other Batmen from McFarlane's DC Multiverse line. We got the Batman Who Laughs and the Hellbat suit. Up next we got the Azrael and Azrael Batman from Batman White Knight. And last but certainly not least, we got our two regulars with the Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibulus and Mortal Kombat 11's Spawn. So with that being said, time to wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and I bet a lot of you saw this coming, this is an awesome figure. For $20, you're essentially getting a Build-A-Figure in the box. I mean, this is a hunk of chunk of burning plastic right here, and I'm willing to bet if someone were to break into my house right now as I'm recording this, I could probably kill their ass with this thing. No doubt in my mind whatsoever. Granted, I do wish he had a little bit more paint apps, and I do wish he was a little bit taller, but for the price point, I have zero complaints. Zero, zip, nada, zelch, none. No complaints. And I highly recommend you pick this thing up if you come across it. And yes, it is going to be on my top 10 favorite DC Multiverse figures of 2020. A list I'm kind of surprised I'm doing, to be honest. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Don't forget to like this video, hit that subscribe button, and the notification bell so you know whenever I upload more reviews like this one, as well as leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you think of this figure. And remember, keep the comments civil, because the world sucks enough as it is. And until next time, I'll catch you guys later.